Hello, and welcome back to Sacred Stone's 0% Growths. We're on Chapter 15, and it is quite challenging. I guess I probably sound like a broken record saying that at this point. The difficulty has been ramping up pretty significantly over the course of the game, but I do think this is the hardest chapter yet. It is a route map, and those are always more challenging. It's also a very big route map with 46 enemies and just a lot of space. It's a desert map, which limits mobility. The enemies are quite tough, in particular the bosses, Kalok and Valter. I'll go more into detail on them in a bit, but yeah, the fact that it's so open means that compared to the last map, you can't really funnel the enemies into the strongest units necessarily, so there's a lot more potential risk for a squishy unit in the backline getting attacked. And then to add to the complexity, this being a desert map, there are of course hidden items. So I'm not going to go over where all of the hidden items are now. I'll talk about them as I get to them, but suffice to say that I have brought along Renak to pick them up. Because he has a guaranteed, he is guaranteed to pick them up if he steps in the right tiles. In addition to him, I've also made a couple of other changes to my party. I have added Joshua and Tana, who have both been promoted, and benched Dozla. So Tana, I've promoted to a Wyvern Knight. It turns out that even though Pegasus Knight, which is the other option, does get slightly more speed, the additional constitution that Wyvern Knights get more than makes up for it, so long as she's wielding anything heavier than a Slim Lance. And she also doesn't get access to swords. I don't really consider that to be a big deal. So at this point, she's tied for fastest character in the party, but her strength is not anything amazing, so she's not going to be the best offensive character by any means, but, you know, fast flyer, pretty useful, especially on a desert map. And then Joshua, it's debatable whether he's really any better than Dozla. He's certainly faster, although he's not as fast as you might expect him to be because the Swordmaster promotion gains are pretty poor. So he's only got 14 speed. I think he had 13 before promotion. Anyway, he has respectable but not amazing strength, so his damage output might not be any better than Dozla's, especially given that he's sword-locked. And of course he doesn't have 1-2 range. But the reason I want to deploy him is because I want to get him to S-rank swords. Right now he is at B, which is pretty low, and there's definitely an argument to be made that if I had known about this in advance, I should have had him training that up more intensely beforehand, but, you know, this is kind of an unplanned run in a lot of respects because I'm not, I haven't played this game a ton of times. But in any case, the point is that if we go here and check the supply, last chapter, one of the two sacred weapons that we picked up is the Audholma. It is an 18 might, 85 hit sword, which is really good if you compare that to a steel blade, which is the strongest sword I have right now. That's 11 might, 65 hit, and also 14 weight. This is only 9 weight, so this thing is fantastic. He's really the only one who can use it. Garrick, I think, might be able to get to A-ranked swords, but S-ranked swords, but the goal is to get him to S-rank axes. And so yeah, that's the goal with Joshua. Speaking of legendary weapons, we've also got Soleil over here holding the Excalibur Tome, which is 18 might, 90 hit, and 10 crit. So really good. Also, speed +5. Notably, however, it weighs 13, and Soleil has 8 constitution, so effectively the speed and the weight cancel out. But still, it's a really good weapon, and I do have a plan for addressing the weight of the tome a little bit. Anyway, he is pretty close to S rank, so he'll be able to use that during this chapter, which is going to be very nice for helping take out Kalok over here, who is the first target, really, for the chapter, and He's fast enough. He's not super fast, but he's fast enough that nobody's doubling him. He's very bulky. He's very strong, and he has a hop-on guard, so he can't crit him. He's also got a tomahawk, so he can defend at range. So yeah, he's really scary. Anyway, so let's get... Oh, I guess there's one other thing I should call attention to, which is that this guy over here has a dragon axe that is droppable if you get him to attack with his hand axe. And so we're going to try to lure him over like that, or with the hand axe, and then get that transferred to Garrick, and then we can use that against Volter. So that's just something I want to point out before I forget. And so now, to get started, Innes is going to come down here and attack this guy. Take him out. Joshua is going to sit here on this gate and engage these guys on enemy phase. And we're going to have Cormag and Tana rescue drop Renak into the desert over here. And then engage these two mercenaries on enemy phase. No, that's not it. There we go. So there is a Worm Slayer in this box. It's 5x4, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. No, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, I think one spot. So basically, from this mercenaries to this mercenaries column, and from Megan Tana's, basically from above and below these bones. So Renak will be able to pick that up next turn. Ideally, Tana picks it up this turn, but meanwhile, basically everybody else is going to go this way and rush Kalak. And starting with Saleh. And that, and then answer him. Wanted the Elfire for a little bit more because it weapon rank, but I'm going to now use the Thunder because in some of my test runs he really rips through the Elfire on enemy phase, and I would rather that he not use that up quite so quickly. And it does reduce his speed, and thus his avoid. So. Anyway, so we're gonna have Seth come over, javelin this guy. And then Garrick come over and hit this guy. None of the enemies in range of this have ranged weapons. And then Artur is going to come over and just be the healer for this party. Erica is going to come over and basically have the option to trade stuff out of the convoy to them, and also look for some of the hidden items that are over in this part of the map. And then Mulder is going to kind of stick around the center. He has a physics staff, so he can potentially heal a lot of different people. So, something else to mention about why this chapter is difficult. Not only does it start with 46 enemies on the map, but there are also a lot of reinforcements. There's, starting on turn 3, there are reinforcements every turn until turn 9, and the reinforcements that show up on turn 8 are particularly dangerous. There's a huge wave of them that show up in the lower left, and as a result of that, I really want to be able to get Kalak taken care of by the time I send everyone down, or get Kalak taken care of in time to send everyone who's going towards him down to the bottom left. Interesting. This guy actually normally attacks Renak, not that it really matters. Okay, so first of all, Joshua did not succeed in taking out this guy with a crit, which means that this guy is still alive, so that's pretty annoying. Not a whole lot I can actually do about that, because I need to shoot down this wyvern with Innes. Actually, there is something I can do about it, because Cormag it can come back up there, so... I lie, I guess. Oh, nice, and he can even one-round him, because he's wielding a blade. Excellent. This is actually the first time that I've seen Joshua fail to activate a crit on that first guy. Alright, so now... we want to have Renak pick up the Worm Slayer, which he can do... Oh, no, that's not true. He cannot do that while killing this guy on player phase, so that's okay. I think we can put him here, and he'll still pick it up? Yeah. And then he can enemy phase both of these guys, which I think is safe. Yeah, might as well use the Iron Sword, or maybe the Killing Edge. Let's see. Does Killing Edge slow him down? Nah. Oh, the... I'm just trying to double check that I've got the right part of the map. Okay, so... yeah, let's use the Killing Edge here. Worm Slayer, send that back to the convoy. Alright, Tana... might want to heal her with Molder, so I'll hold off on that for a little bit. So let's have Seth come up and poke this guy. Tana should be safe to dance in front of him, because none of these guys can get there. I mean, Tethys. I think I do that a lot. I also think that Archer can come heal... yeah. Alright, so yeah, we were gonna have... nobody else took damage, really, right? Yeah. Gonna have Archer come heal, and he's also gonna trade a Javelin to Seth, because those mages, we want to be able to counterattack them on enemy phase. Although I think only one of them can actually reach Seth. Yeah, this one. Right, so then I'm gonna have Saleh come up. Actually, let's do this with the Hellfire. And then we'll have Garrick trade him a Thunder. And attack this guy. Dang it, Garrick. Okay. And just want to make sure Erica is safe to advance. Actually, I also want to be able to move over and heal Cormag. Him next turn, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so plenty of reach to heal Tana from. Alright, so Tana's gonna come down here, take this guy out, and then enemy phase the Mercenary. Also get a Lunatome, so that's nice. I mean, it's not really any good, but we can sell it if we need money. And Erica is going to head this way to just take her very low percentage chance at finding some items. And here comes Ephraim and company, so I'll talk about them after this enemy phase. Nicely done, Renak. Alright, and you can see the start of the reinforcements. There's a whole bunch of Pegasus reinforcements over here. That's why I'm sending Cormag back in this direction. He's quite effective against them, because they're wielding weapons that are too heavy for them. Anyway, let's talk about Ephraim and company. So Ephraim is back. Like his sister, he unfortunately doesn't have the opportunity to promote yet, which is a lot more unfortunate in his case, because A, he's high enough level to do it, and B, he would definitely benefit from it. I admittedly I haven't looked up the promotion bonuses, so I don't know how much, but he's got pretty solid bases for being an unpromoted unit, and for when he joins, comparable with some of the usable but not amazing now promoted units like Joshua and Tana and Cormag, I guess. So the unfortunate thing is that these Rangers over here have 16 and 15 speed respectively, which is enough to double Ephraim's 11, and he cannot take 2 hits from them. So he really has to basically run away from them. Meanwhile, we've got Noel here. So Noel is level 10 Shaman. He can promote immediately, and in fact there is a Master Seal in this village, which Tana is going to go pick up in a moment. But in the meantime, Noel is in vanilla, I think, considered to be quite poor. His speed is definitely underwhelming at this point, and he's incredibly fragile, with just 21 HP and 2 defense. That is actually, I don't know if he's more fragile than Artur was at base, but it's more fragile than my Artur is now, having promoted, and he still will be. I should clarify. Noel is, after promotion, Noel will still be less bulky than Artur, who has not gained any levels since joining ages ago, and is just working out his promotion bonuses. So Noel is extremely squishy. In this run, I don't expect to use him extensively, but we can make him a summoner, and that has some definite utility, particularly in this chapter where there's like going to be a whole mess of enemies, like in this area in the future, and then over in this area, and it's hard to protect all the squishies in the back line. We can use the Phantom that he can summon to do that. So I guess spoilers that I'm going to promote him to Summoner. Druid is the other option, and basically is like you trade the ability to summon for the ability to use animate magic. Statistically, they're basically identical. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be using him for offense much, so I'd rather just get the summoning. And then we've got Dussel or Dwessel. Well, they call him Dussel. So Dussel is an absolute tank. He has a ton of HP, a ton of strength, a ton of defense, pretty good resistance too. He's not super fast, and his mobility isn't amazing, being a Great Knight rather than a Paladin, but it's still better than a 6-move foot unit, and he's also got A ranks in all of his weapon types, so in this run he's going to be pretty great, and I definitely expect to be using him extensively. He also comes with a couple of silver weapons, which is definitely nice. In vanilla, I think he is, considered to be not so great just because of his speed. He's not doubling things a lot of the time, and at this point with normal growths, a lot of your characters are doubling everything, so that's a pretty big drawback. But here, he is definitely going to be valuable. So what we're going to do with him is we're going to trade for all of Ephraim's weaponry except the Reagan Leaf, and equip a Silver Lance, and then go sit on this fort. So these Myrmidons will get one shot by Dwessel exactly if he has the Silver Lance equipped, not the Steel Lance. And then we can switch up to Steel Lance to take out some of these Cavaliers and things going forward. He unfortunately only has a 6-use Javelin right now because that's all Ephraim had left, but I do actually have Tana coming down with an extra Javelin for him, so that'll help. Anyway, so let's look at Renak for a second. So Renak needs healing. There's also a Killer Bow that is in the box right here. And I would not mind at all if he started engaging these fighters. Something weird about the fighters that I don't remember being the case in any other game, maybe it's the case in the other GBA games and I just never noticed, but is that they have more reduced movement on Desert than other foot units. So as you can see, the Mercenary can move 2 spaces, Fighter can only move 1. Let's see, I mean, Innis can, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so the movement cost for these is 2 for a sniper, for a mercenary, for rogue, who has 6 movements, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know how to explain that, or why that is the case. Anyway, it's just an interesting observation. But all 3 of these guys can actually attack Renak if he stands right here, which is potentially a little scary, but not too scary because the fighters aren't very likely to hit him. I think this time I'm going to not equip the... Oh, actually, I should double check that... Yeah, none of the mounted units can reach him there. Okay, so... I am going to have Renak come over here, use one of his 2 elixir charges. I'm just going to have him use the Iron Sword, because I don't think he really needs to try to crit these fighters so much. And then we're going to send that Killer Bow back to the convoy as well. Okay, so... What I'm deliberating on is whether I want to have Mulder heal Tana again or not. I'm leaning towards not, but I want to get some stuff taken care of elsewhere before I decide that definitively. So I think we are ready to play Lure the Berserker here. So what we're going to do is have Innis come and shoot this guy. And then have Joshua and trade with him and trade him a Killer Bow. If Innis manages to land a crit, he will kill this guy in 1 shot, which is really helpful because he's too fast to be doubled and he's quite bulky. So getting him out of the way quickly would definitely be useful. Maybe I will heal Tana, because Cormac can survive 2 hits against these guys, and then I'm probably going to need to heal him anyway. Although, let's see, how far do I need to go to heal her? That is pretty far, so I would only be able to get back here, and then my healing range is 5 from here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that doesn't work. That does not work. Alright, so we are going to go heal Cormag. Because Tana's not going to be engaging in too much combat in the near future. So Cormag's going to come up here with a Javelin. And one of these guys has Javelin. Yeah, so he's in range of both of them. So he should take them both out, assuming he doesn't miss. Meanwhile, Tana, come over here and visit this house. Get a Master Seal. And just send the Steel Lance back. Noel can come up. Trade. I think we're going to go ahead and... Well, so the question is it easier to get a Javelin to Dwessel versus via Noel or via Tana? And I don't actually know the answer to that question, but I think it's going to be via Noel. I think it's going to be kind of annoying either way, but we'll trade the Vulnerary to Tana so she can heal up that damage if she wants. And then promote Noel to a Summoner. For some reason it shows him as not having gotten those 3 hit points that he got for promotion, but then, you know, he didn't actually take that damage. I don't know why. I guess that healing takes place, like, after the promotion takes place. Anyway, so we've got Ephraim here. This Ranger is gonna come up and attack Dusel, and we can't really reliably take him out. It is possible for the 2 of them to take him out, especially because Ephraim's Reagan Leaf does bonus damage against him, but Dusel's hit rate is like in the 60s with like whatever weapon he ends up using, and Ephraim's, I think, is not a whole lot better. Maybe worse, depending on what weapon he's using. So, or what weapon Dusel's using. So, I don't want to take that risk. So I'm just gonna have Ephraim run up here. And eventually he's gonna kind of help shuttle. There's gonna be some like rescue dropping, and he's gonna help shuttle this group down, like specifically probably Tethys or something. Okay, so I think we're ready to go up here and start dealing with Kalok. Let's see how close Saleh is to weapon leveling. Not that close, unfortunately. But we can... Let's see... We can help that out a little bit here. Having him... come up and pop this guy. So you can kind of see... like, Kalok is very scary. He didn't do a lot of damage, almost one-shot Saleh. So, yeah, one more hit should do it. So one option is to just have Kalok... make sure that Kalok is swinging against Saleh and not anybody else. Which has its merits, because he also does more damage than either Garrick or, well, I think Garrick does the same damage with the Steel Blade, but his hit rate's a lot lower. In either case, let's have Archer mend up Garrick. And so there's a Silence Staff in the 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 tiles, not this one. So Erica is just going to try and grab that and probably fail for several turns in a row, but she's not really got anything better to do just at the moment. Actually, what I can do is I can have... Let's see, would I rather have Garrick or Seth? Oh, Seth can't get in there. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna have Garrick come over here and try to hit him. Nothing personnel, kid. Alright, so Garrick gets hit. Oh, we got the Warp Staff! Awesome! That helps a lot. Yeah, so the Warp Staff is in these 9 squares around Kalok, and it takes Renak a while to get up there, so it's very nice that we don't have to do that now. Although he still has to come up for the silence unless Erica manages to pick it up, or somebody else manages to pick it up. Anyway, so now we can come up, dance for Saleh, and just heal up Garrick. And we'll bring Seth over here, and that's the turn. I don't actually know if he's gonna attack Saleh. Oh right, Kalok will just heal all that damage back. Arguably a pointless swing on my part. Oh well. Yeah, he heals, I think he heals 20% of his HP on the fort, and he's got over 40 HP, so that's 8, and I only did 7 damage. And Renak got hit by that fighter. Not cool. Okay. Weapon rank? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Excalibur, very helpful for taking out Kalok. No crit. Much sad. Yeah, so that the Rangers can double do, so he doesn't really care when he's sitting on the fort. He'll get most of that health back. If not all of it. All of it.